whispered into the dark, not because I lacked faith, but because I had run out of strength. I waited for a sign, a feeling, a word that would explain the silence, but the silence stayed. I searched the ceiling for answers, counted breaths instead of blessings, and wondered if heaven had learned how to look away. The room felt heavy, time moved slow, and my heart learned a new kind of ache. The ache of waiting without understanding. When God stayed quiet, I thought I was alone. I mistook the silence for distance, waiting for absence. But somewhere between the tears and the long hours of night, I realized quiet does not mean gone. When God stayed quiet, my faith began to bend, not breaking, just learning how to stand without leaning on feelings. I didn't hear his voice, I didn't feel his hand, but something deeper held me when everything else fell apart. I remember stories about thunder and fire, about voices calling names in the night, but my story felt smaller, softer, unfinished. No fire fell, no miracle moved the room, only the quiet remained, steady, patient, unafraid. And slowly I stopped demanding answers, I stopped asking God to prove he was near. I learned that some seasons are not about hearing him speak, but about trusting he listens. When God stayed quiet, he watched me learn how to wait. He watched my fear rise and fall, my hope stretched thin but not disappear. He didn't rush the moment, didn't interrupt the night. He stayed silent, and somehow the silence held me together. I used to think faith meant certainty, clear direction, peace that arrives quickly. But faith, I learned, sometimes means sitting still while nothing changes except your heart. The silence taught me honesty, it stripped away performance, tore down borrowed strength, left only what was real. And what was real was this. Even when God stayed quiet, I was still held. Now when the night returns and prayers feel heavy again, I don't panic like before, I breathe, I wait, I remember, because silence was never the absence of God. It was the space where my faith learned how to rest. If you're waiting tonight, if heaven feels distant and still, don't mistake quiet for abandonment. God stays closer than you can feel. I pray with hands that tremble, Not because I doubted you, but because I hoped too much. Every word fell softly into the dark, like rain that never touched the ground. I waited for a sign, a shift in the air, something to tell me my prayers had arrived. But heaven was still, no echo, no reply. Only the sound of my own breathing and the weight of unanswered hope. I prayed through nights that felt endless, through thoughts that wouldn't rest, through memories of prayers that once felt alive. Now my faith moves slower, more careful, like it was afraid to expect too much again. I prayed, but heaven was still. And I wondered if stillness meant distant. I wondered if silence was a closed door. But deep inside, something whispered, still does not mean empty. Oh, pray without confidence, without fire, without the strength to sound sure. My prayers were broken sentences, unfinished thoughts, tears pretending to be words. I didn't know how to impress you anymore, so I stopped trying. I prayed, but heaven was still. No sudden peace arrived, no answers rushed the room. But somehow the stillness didn't crush me, it held me. I realized waiting was not punishment, it was not rejection, it wasn't an invitation to trust without proof, to believe without reward, to remain without assurance. The silence taught my soul how to kneel without collapsing, how to breathe without relief, how to hope without control. And slowly my fear lost its voice. I prayed, but heaven was still. Yet you never left. You watched me learn how to stay faithful. When faith feels fragile, you stay close. While I learned that answers are not the same as presence, now I pray differently, not louder, not longer, just truer. I don't ask you to hurry anymore, I ask you to remain. Because even when heaven is still, you are working deeper than sound. And even when I hear nothing, you hear everything. If your prayers feel unanswered tonight, if the silence feels too loud, remember, God is not distant in stillness, He is nearer than you know. I didn't come here ready to wait. I came desperate for change, hoping the night would move faster, hoping you would speak before my strength faded. But the hour stayed slow, and the silence stayed deep, and my heart had no choice but to sit where it was. At first, waiting felt like failure, like I had prayed wrong, trusted too little, missed something important along the way. I replayed every word I spoke to you, every promise I tried to remember, wondering why nothing shifted the way I expected it to. But faith is not always movement. Sometimes faith is learning how to remain still without losing hope. Faith learned to wait in the space between prayers, when nothing changes outwardly, but everything begins to change inside. I stopped asking for signs, stopped begging for proof. Faith learned to wait here,
trust you in the quiet.
Waiting stripped me of hurry, it peeled away my need for control. I discovered how loud my fear had been before the silence taught me to listen. Not for answers, but for presence. I realized you weren't delaying me. You were steadying me. You weren't withholding love.
You were teaching my heart
how to rest without conditions.
Faith learned to wait here,
where strength is slow and gentle, where trust is not loud but constant. I didn't feel braver,
I didn't feel stronger.
I simply stayed. And staying became worship. There were nights when doubt tried to rush me forward, tried to convince me the waiting meant being forgotten. But you stayed consistent, unchanging, faithful in ways that didn't demand attention. The silence became familiar, not frightening, like a quiet room where healing is happening without noise.
Faith learned to wait here,
and I learned who you are.
Not the God who rushes seasons,
but the God who walks through them.
Not the God who shouts from the heavens,
but the God who sits beside the weary. Now I don't fear the waiting,
I don't rush the night.
I trust that when the moment comes,
yours will arrive on time.
Until then I remain, I breathe,
I trust,
because faith doesn't always need answers. Sometimes it only needs the courage to stay. Silence didn't arrive gently, it came heavy, like a question without a mark at the end. It followed my prayers, stood beside my hopes, and waited to see if I would stay or leave. At first I tried to outlast it. I told myself the season would pass quickly, that faith would feel strong again soon. but silence stayed longer than expected, longer than comfort, longer than confidence. And slowly, trust stopped being a feeling and became a decision. When silence tested my trust, I didn't feel brave, I didn't feel faithful. I only knew that leaving would cost me more than staying. So I stayed. Silence asked questions I didn't want to answer. It asked if I trusted you only when you spoke. It asked if my faith depended on reassurance, on movement, on results I could see. And I didn't like what I discovered. I realized how much of my faith was built on feeling close, not on knowing you were near. When silence tested my trust, it exposed my fear, not fear of you, fear of being unseen, unheard, unchanged. But you didn't abandon me there. You stayed patient, letting my face stretch without snapping. I learned that trust grows differently in the dark. It doesn't rush, it doesn't shout. It takes root slowly, quietly, deep within the places no one applauds. There were nights when doubt knocked loudly, asking why I hadn't moved on, why I hadn't given up, why I still believe. And I didn't always have answers, but I had presence. When silence tested my trust, you never left the room. You didn't rush my questions away. You let them sit, and somehow they lost their power. Trust stopped needing certainty, faith stopped asking for proof. I learned that staying is sometimes the strongest prayer a weary heart can offer. Now when silence returns, it no longer scares me. It reminds me of what survived. It reminds me that my faith was not built on noise, but on you. When silence tested my trust, you held it steady. And now I know even quiet seasons are filled with grace. There were moments when I listened so hard that the silence hurt my ears. I waited for a whisper, a sign, a gentle interruption, but nothing came. No warmth, no certainty, no clear direction. Just the steady weight of another quiet night. I asked myself if I had missed you, if my faith had grown dull, if I had prayed past the moment when answers were still available. I replayed every word, every promise, every hope I carried into the dark, and still nothing. I didn't hear you, but you stayed. I didn't feel your presence move, but you remained. I was surrounded by silence, but I was never abandoned. I didn't hear you, but you stayed. The silence forced me to stop chasing sound. It stripped away my need to feel close to you in order to believe you were near. I realized how much of my faith depended on sensation, not on trust. I learned that staying with you does not always feel like peace. Sometimes it feels like endurance. Sometimes it feels like breathing when everything inside you wants to quit. I didn't hear you, but you stayed. You didn't explain the waiting. You didn't soften the night. You let the silence do its work, yeah. And you stayed beside me through it all. I stopped asking for answers and started asking for strength to remain honest in the quiet. Not strong enough to conquer the night, just faithful enough to stay in it. And something changed, not suddenly, not dramatically, but deeply. I stopped measuring faith by how clearly I could hear you. I began to measure it by how willing I was to trust you anyway. I didn't hear you, but you stayed, and that became enough. Now when silence returns, I don't panic. I remember, I breathe, I stay because God does not leave when He chooses to be quiet. He stays closer than sound. If tonight feels silent for you, if heaven feels distant and still, remember this truth: God's presence is not proven by noise. It is proven by faithfulness. I didn't hear you, but you stayed. I didn't hear you, but you stayed. I didn't hear you, but you stayed. The night didn't move when I asked it to. The shadows stayed where they were, and the weight of the hours didn't suddenly disappear. But something else happened, something quieter, something truer. I stopped trying to escape the dark. I stopped begging for the morning. And I noticed for the first time that I wasn't walking through the night alone. The night God never left. Held me when my strength gave in. No answers fell from heaven, no miracle rushed the pain away. But His presence stayed steady, unchanging, faithful. I used to believe God showed up only when things improved, only when prayers were answered quickly, only when peace arrived loud and clear. But this night taught me otherwise. This night taught me that God is not afraid of darkness. He does not abandon broken hearts. When silence fills the room, He does not leave. Just because healing takes time, the night God never left became holy ground. Not because everything was fixed, but because everything was seen. Every tear, every doubt, every tired prayer that never found the right words, I learned that faith is not always victory. Sometimes faith is staying present in moments that don't make sense. Sometimes worship sounds like breathing. Sometimes hope whispers instead of sings, and God listens to whispers. The night God never left taught my soul how to rest. Not rest from pain, but rest from pretending. I no longer needed to explain myself, to prove belief, to sound strong. I was known, and that was enough. The night didn't disappear, but it softened. The silence didn't break, but it became gentle. I realized healing doesn't always arrive with light. Sometimes it arrives with companionship. Now when night returns, I don't fear it like before. I remember what stayed, I remember who stayed. Because God does not visit the broken, He dwells with them. If you are walking through a long night, if answers feel far away, remember this truth: God is not waiting on the other side of your pain. He is walking with you through it. The night God never left.